Yo, what's up? We're back, guys. We're going to be doing another Bellator breakdown. This is Bellator 264, Gegard Mousasi versus John Salter. Going to be breaking down the main card on this video. If you guys want the full card breakdown, as well as a breakdown on all the betting lines and the bets that I'm going to be having for Bellator 264, for PFL, for CFFC this weekend, check out the Patreon. I just did drop a video for Bellator 264 for the full card and for the gambling and terms of it as well. But for this video, I'm just going to do a main card predictions video, just talk about who I think is going to win the fights, fighter skill sets, things like that. So before the video gets started, if you're new around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell for more videos coming up. And really appreciate all you guys' support. Let's try to get 100 likes on this video. That'd be amazing. So I really appreciate you guys, and let's get it going with this first fight. Gwerder taking on Khadzimurat Bestaev. This is a fight between Gwerder, who is the young prospect here. He's 26. Kind of had a rough go of it in Bellator, though. He's gone in there. He had to fight Joseph Career, who is a tough veteran who is much older than him. Then he had to fight recently Dalton Rosta, who's a beast wrestler. Came up short in both those fights, but before he went to Bellator, he had all knockout wins. He is coming out of Extreme Couture, and he still has some hype around him. Kadzi Bestaev, he's a guy that is 6'6", so I mean for middleweight, he might be the tallest middleweight of all time. Who knows? And he's a guy that also has some decent striking acumen. He moves around, throws a lot of kicks, but he's one of these tall guys that kind of like, if you get close to him, you could smother their kicks, come with punches over the top. He holds his hands low, throws naked kicks, gets countered. His chin isn't the best. We saw that against Phil Hawes. Gwerder, he's very tight with his boxing, good combinations, hard low kicks, comes forward, kind of has that, nice Muay Thai style. And I feel like, he's going to be able to break down Bestaev with some leg kicks, come over the top of some big punches. If Bestaev is giving him some issues with the movement, with his size and the reach, he can close that gap, take him down pretty easily, in my opinion. And with Bestaev, he's shown some quit in certain fights. Against Alonzo Menefield, he had an eye injury problem and, got out of there in that fight. Against Phil Hawes, he got knocked out. No shame in that one. But also had a fight against another opponent in LFA where he kind of turtled up after getting taken down. Didn't really show, the best defense on the ground or just the most fight. And I feel like Gwerder could beat it out of him. I think Gwerder's the guy that, has more of a career here. We got Bestaev, who is coming off another year-long layoff since the fight with Phil Hawes. He's not a very active fighter. And another thing with Bestaev is, he hasn't been out of the first round since 2016. So kind of, finish or bust type of guy. And if he gets out that first round, I could see him getting significantly more tired. I don't really know what type of camp he's at. It seems like he changes gyms, goes to different gyms all the time, which it's good in a way, but, you don't like to see that. You want to see someone at the home base usually. So for me, Gwerder is a real safe pick here. I think that he's going to be able to get it done inside the distance in this one and finish Khadzimurat Bestaev. I still think Bestaev is on the level of a Bellator, of the level of a UFC. So up next year, we got a low-level fight here with Everett Cummings taking on Davion Franklin. We got Bellator trying to get Davion another win here. Everett Cummings, he's 15-0, but, let's take a closer look at that record here. He hasn't really fought anyone, man. 0-0, 0-0, 0-0, 0-1, 0-1, 3-4, 2-1, 7-16, 12-7. And look at the way he's finished a lot of these guys. 57 seconds, 47 seconds, 39 seconds, 31 seconds, a minute 40. So, he's just taking these guys out real quick, 26 seconds, and finding real low-level opponents. I was only able to find one of these guys fight, so the resumes are real important here for Everett because it's can't really find much. I saw his fight with Son Davis. He seems like one of these smaller heavyweights that likes to use his speed, get in there, hit the single leg, get on top. Seems like he has decent passing ability once he gets on top and kind of hit submissions on some low-level guys. But he's very aggressive. He brings the fight. I don't see this being a fight that goes to decision because I think Cummings is going to bring this fight, and he's going to try to get the takedown, get the finish on the ground, not really hold down Davion. And Davion's really big, explosive. He's going to be the much more athletic, stronger, just physically imposing, just way in terms of just if both these guys did a bodybuilding competition, Davion would win for sure. But it's Davion also is the much superior athlete, faster, In my opinion, he has a big power edge, and I think it's going to be hard for Everett Cummings to take him down. I think Davion is going to be able to probably sprawl in that single to Everett, circle to the back, pound him out, or land a big shot on the feet and take him out. Didn't seem like Cummings had very good striking whatsoever. But, with Davion Franklin, only 3 fights. 2 of those fights were against, JT Kaiser. He also fought more recently another opponent that was just a very low-level guy. So I have no faith in Davion Franklin, being, going out there and looking great. You watch his one fight with Raz Hilton where it went long, totally gassed out, looked really lost. And it was a very, very bad fight from both guys. So I feel like Franklin in this one is going to be able to get that first round knockout. But if it doesn't happen, could turn up being a real low level slot fest. Everett could get the finish. Who knows? Everett's 15-0. So, I mean, he might have some sort of confidence, but almost all his fights are in California, Gladiator Challenge. Biggest step of his career here. He's facing a beast. And I feel like physically he's just outgunned. So give me Davion Franklin in this one. But I just don't trust Davion Franklin as a fighter if it becomes a tough fight. So to really, invest a lot in him, I feel like, is not the smartest thing to do. But, man, this fight up here right next, Magomedov versus Raufeon Stots, what a fucking fight right here, man. Just amazing. I mean, we got 2 guys that are 2 of the best guys outside the UFC. We got Raufeon Stots who, he has the 1 loss, so does Magomedov, and Raufeon's maybe the lesser-known guy here. You're definitely looking at the money line. I think it's a little bit crazy. I feel like he's getting a little bit disrespected here. But Raufeon Stots, his only loss to Rob Dvalishvili. And if you remember, he was the big favorite in that fight. He was on looking for a fight. I think Dana White was there trying to look at Raufeon Stots, especially sign him. And Rob Dvalishvili caught him with the spinning back fist, 15 seconds, knocked him out. I mean, wasn't much of a fight. And Raufeon just kind of got upset there. He got caught. And other than that, he's been flawless, 16-0. He's been able to go in there with good grapplers, beat them, good strikers, beat them, mixed it up. He's a guy that, is facing a Dagestani guy, but it's not like he can't wrestle, man. This isn't a guy with just basic wrestling credentials. He's a 2-time national champion in wrestling, went to that same college as Kamaru Usman, University of Nebraska Curie, and they both came in MMA together, man, and they're, that's a dangerous thing. You look at Raufeon Stots, he has a lot of confidence, talks to his corner in between rounds. He's just super, super good cardio, very, very composed in there, and that goes a long way, against a guy like Magomedov who's trying to break you. Magomedov, obviously 18-1, super stellar record. He's most known for his win over Petr Yan, but I do feel like people overblow that a little bit. I mean, when he fought Petr Yan, he was already 11-0. Petr Yan was only 5-0. It was Petr Yan's first title fight, so it was 5 rounds. It was a split decision. A lot of people think Petr Yan actually won the fight. Then they did rematch when Magomed was 13-0. Petr Yan, I believe, was 5-1. And Petr Yan outclassed and won the fight fairly easily. It was competitive, but Petr Yan was able to get the win clearly in the second fight. So, he does have the win over Petr Yan, but it was a very young, green, and experienced Petr, and Petr did avenge that loss. But Magomedov is the real deal, man. The guy's an extremely legit grappler. He's another one of these Dagestanis coming at you, man. And, they're just hard to bet against and hard to beat. And Raufeon Stots, he has the recipe, though, because, like I said, he has the confidence and he has that wrestling. And he's going to do, in my opinion, what he says he's going to do, which is pressure, stay in Magomedov's face, when he shoots, reshoot, try to get a lot of wrestling scrambles, try to stuff a lot of his takedowns, back him up to the cage. He's going to have the reach advantage. He's southpaw. He's going to probably have the speed, athleticism advantage. He throws straight punches, and Magomedov in certain fights has thrown a lot of looping shots, spinning attacks, and I feel like Stots could potentially get ahead if that happens. But one thing I don't really like about Raufeon Stots is he could be low volume at times, kind of walk guys down, stay in their face, but not let a lot of strikes off. And Magomedov has gotten a lot better with this volume, man, letting off a lot of combinations, elbows on the inside, a lot of spins, kicks. It's kind of pot-shotting, flim-flam type of attacks, but he's fast, and he throws, nice shots, set up the takedowns. If he shoots, you stuff the takedown, you come up with strikes, shoot again, and just keeps it real kinetic, real high pace. And I feel like he's going to try to do that to Stots, out-volume him on the numbers because, man, I think it's going to be a difficult task telling me you're just going to grind and out-grapple a guy like Raufeon Stots, man. I mean, this isn't just a guy that just picked up wrestling, wrestled in college. This is a 2-time national champion wrestler. This is a guy that, like I said, is in there talking with Kamaru Usman. They're coming up in the sport together. And man, I mean, his wrestling cardio is phenomenal. We've seen Magomedov taken on before himself and against Petr Yan, other guys. And, I don't think I wouldn't be shocked if Raufeon even hit a couple takedowns in this fight, got on top. I don't think that either guy's going to be able to sustain really great top control. I just feel like the difference in the fight might be that thing, like I said, where Raufeon sometimes he can get a little bit static. I think he can get a little bit thinking about one thing. Like if Magomed's giving him a lot of feints, a lot of level changes, he might be thinking so much about sprawling. Like I got to stuff this takedown, and then Magomedov can land 3-4 shots, and he's just not really letting off his offense. But if Raufeon comes in there turned on, ready to go, man, I mean, he has the speed, he has the reach, he's southpaw, he could back you up, he could wrestle, he might be able to even out-wrestle Magomedov and really surprise people, and he can get this win, man. I mean, Raufeon Stots is a live underdog here. I feel like he's definitely an underappreciated guy, but it's hard to pick against Magomedov, and I am going to pick him here. I just think he blends it a little bit better. If there's a little more volume, might be a little bit faster, and I think that the grappling is going to kind of negate each other. I think they're both going to have some moments in the grappling, but I think it's going to come down to Magomedov maybe just doing a little bit more in the striking, coming with a little more takedown attempts, just being a little bit more active and getting the win that way. But, man, this is a high-level, real close chess match type of fight right there, in my opinion. We go from that to a fight that I think is a really one-sided fight with Andrey Koreshkov against Sabah Homasi. Sabah Homasi, he actually had some success in Bellator. He went 3-0, went in there against Paul Daly, cracked him early, almost got him out of there. That's kind of Sabah Homasi's game. Obviously, we all know about Sabah, a guy that was in the UFC, and he's a decent wrestler. He comes in there in pretty good shape, but he always does kind of slow down. But he likes to, go in there and throw big shots, try to knock you out or take you down, grind you against the cage if he can't knock you out early. And Andrey Koreshkov, he's much more composed, fought way higher level guys. He has a high guard, real good kicking game, real good spins, keeps it tight. He has, his shoulders tight, nice straight punches down the middle. He's going to be catching Sabah. Sabah's throwing loop-in shots or straight shots. He's very aggressive in that first round, looking for the finish. He can grapple, so I don't see Sabah Homasi being able to take him down, control him. His cardio checks out, I think, a lot better than Sabah's. Much more composed guy. He's a guy that could fight to a game plan. I don't see him brawling with Sabah Homasi. I think Sabah is really going to struggle with that distance. Andrey's going to have the reach as well as the kicking advantage, the speed advantage, in my opinion, throwing straight shots. And I don't see a lot of path to victory for Sabah. I mean, I just think Andrey's going to pick him apart, get that late first round TKO in this one. I don't see it going long. I mean, I feel like Sabah is going to come out, look, like he's going to try to get that kill early, be real explosive, but not be able to find the mark, get frustrated, and Andrey's going to start picking him off and really beating him up and then going to knock him out and take him out. So give me Koreshkov in that one. And then the main event, Gegard Mousasi versus John Salter, another pretty high-level fight. And you look at it, Gegard has had some issues with grapplers in certain fights, but, man, I mean, you're looking at a guy like Gegard's record to a guy like John Salter. It's hard to ever pick a guy like John Salter. I mean, we do have Gegard getting a loss to Rafael Lovato Jr. recently, but, Rafael Lovato Jr. is one of the best jiu-jitsu guys on the planet. He's very big. He has the significant size advantage on Gegard, which John Salter doesn't have. And, let's just say he might have been on some other stuff as well. But, with John Salter, it's another really good high-level grappler here who's a good black belt, he's a grinder, has a good double leg, good single, good body lock, good chain wrestling. So he presents some issues. And, his striking, I feel like, is a little boxy. I don't think it's up to par. I think Gegard, once he finds his range, is going to be able to box him up with that jab, really put it on him, and just outstrike him. I think the striking advantage is pretty vast. Salter, he kind of just comes through with big hooks, decent aggressive boxing, but I feel like he doesn't really have a full arsenal, and he's a little bit hesitant to exchange. I don't think he's as crisp, as fast, as tight, as technical. Gegard, we all know the guy's just an elite level kickboxer. And, Salter, I don't think his wrestling is just that overwhelming. So I feel like he's going to struggle to get the takedowns, and he's going to kind of put himself in the dirt by trying to get the takedowns really heavily. He's not a guy that usually goes in long fights. He's only been in a third round twice in his career. He has gotten finished in the third round. He has won one decision. He's 36 years old, so he's a little bit older as well. So, I don't see his cardio holding up over 5 rounds super well. I think Gegard's gonna obviously have the advantage in that, in terms of knowing how to pace himself and just having the better cardio. And I feel like he's gonna be able to eventually find his range, start stuffing these takedowns of John Salter, getting on top of him, putting him in submission attempts, making him work to get out, and then eventually I see Salter getting tired and either getting knocked out on the feet or panic wrestling and getting submitted. And I think Gegard's going to take him out either that second, third, maybe even fourth round. But I think it's going to be Gegard kind of early on. Salter might get a takedown or two, might look like he's going to pose Gegard some issues, but Gegard's going to get that timing, get that rhythm, get that range, start to take over the fight. And I think it's going to start to be a dominant, performance from Gegard and then ultimately a finish. So give me Gegard Mousasi in this one to roll on, the legend, get another win in Bellator, prove that he's the man at 185 pounds still, and then, maybe get some bigger and better opponents. But John Salter's no slouch. He's a guy that's been in Bellator for a long time. He earned this opportunity, and it's good that he's getting this title shot. But I just think Gegard's going to be well too much for him. So there you have it, guys. That's what I think about Bellator 264. That's my breakdown for the full main card, my predictions for every fight. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, hit that like button, and I'll talk to you guys later.